This is Director's Talk, episode 2. Here with Garrett. He's with Galactic Visuals. Can you tell us about your company?
Well, actually, like my company right now, it's kind of a sub, kind of parent, kind of brand company. Galactic Creations, it being like the overall umbrella, which will focus on like design and like other aspects of media. Then Galactic Visuals, which is like your visual aspects such as like photography, videography, and Galactic Transmissions, which focuses on audio and sound bites.
Okay. So, have you done any other projects as far as with any singers or rappers, anything like that?
Yeah, I actually just recently did a show with K-Dog, who performed at the Bombshell Tavern. You can find him on official_KLDS. K-Dog, you can actually look him up on YouTube as well. He performed the song Fear is a Liar. I also worked behind a little bit too with young YJ, who's from Chicago.
K-Dog. I'm from Chicago.
Yeah, K-Dog's from the Bronx, and my other buddy YJ, young YJ, he's from Chicago, so I also work beside them two both. His new song would be like Overtime, and a lot of other stuff that he's been working on too as well. So just be sure to check him out. Young _YJ. That's from my one artist from Chicago, and my other artist is K-Dog, which is official_KLDS. So.
Okay, cool. I like that. So question, have you, do you think as far as the local artists as a whole in Central Florida, do you feel that we work together, stick together, support each other? Do you feel that the support is there in the community, or do you feel as though it could be more going on?
I would say I'm not sure, only because I don't know, I haven't been out there too much. But I would always say there can always be room for more. There can always be room for more improvement. There can always be for more publicity, more fans. So as specifically with Orlando, I noticed it's very close knit and everyone's really supportive for the most part. But as far as within the music and maybe media business, I can see some discrepancies that we kind of face on an everyday basis as far as with everywhere else and everyone goes through. So it's just to each his own really. I really think what I like about Orlando, it's a lot of stuff is moving, compared to where I'm from, Detroit. Not a lot of stuff going around. So I will say Orlando's really busy with a lot of stuff going on and a lot of opportunities. Networking is one of the cities come down here, so you have to network. Their number one thing, networking. And so for that reason, I would say I would be unsure, but I would say there always is room for improvement or could be more.
Okay, that's good. What made you get into, because you say you're from Detroit, so what made you get into the entertainment industry and media and moving down to Florida versus moving to California or New York?
And honestly into photography since I was 14. Just kind of wanted to come down here, with the notion of just doing photography, but of course, networking, learning with everyone, I kind of expanded from, videography, logo design, graphic design, making websites, and it just kind of expanded and just broadened there. Now I have a YouTube podcast, and kind of looks good, so still working on some stuff, but it kind of inspired me to do more. So.
All right, so see that's that Orlando talent. That's the purpose of the show, is to show that there's talent here in Orlando, Florida, and Florida in general, not just Orlando, but just Florida in general. That there's talent. You don't have to necessarily go to, you don't have to leave Florida to go seek out talent when there's talent here. For anybody that is coming up that wants to do media, photography,
Right.
working with different art, working with other artists, what advice would you give them?
With as much as you can. Always keep learning, never stop learning. So it's just, that's my biggest message to anyone in all fields, whether it's creative or logically, just don't stop. Just don't stop being inspired. Don't stop in creating, because adapting, and if you're not adapting, you're dead.
I like that. We're not adapting, you're dead. I like that.
Pretty much
It's gonna be the hashtag for this episode. If you're not adapting, you're dead.
Yeah, because like if you think about it, like if you're not like moving forward or like studying, like think about it this way, like a lot of these music artists are starting to change like their music styles. So like you notice that, you know, some rappers or some hip hop artists are probably leaning into other, you know, like R&B or other pop songs, or other pop artists or rock musicians are leaning into, you know, like some forms of like hip hop or alternative. It's just really like everyone, like just kind of like think of it like that. Like everyone is going to have a different ear and keep adapting. So it's like
I've noticed like a lot of artists that was back in the 90s, they're revamping their work to be better to get the audience of today. Because the audience of today, you know, they I won't say they don't appreciate the 90s style of music.
they probably can't connect.
But right, they can connect to it as far as like us that grew up in the 90s. We can connect to it.
Of course.
So the 90s style of artists, they're adapting to this new day and age. And a lot of people that's from the 90s, they're like, how would they switch up their stuff? But it's like, you have to understand, they're trying to grasp the audience, the main audience now.
Right.
We're not the main audience anymore. You know, the main audience now is, you know, people who grew up with like Lil Wayne, Nicki Minaj, like them.
Of course.
You know, the people that grew up with like Missy Elliott, Lil Kim, Foxy Brown, like them, you know, they're trying to revamp their stuff so they can be so they can be like prevalent now versus, you know, anyone else. But I feel, you know, creativity, you really have to adapt, because a few years from now we're gonna have to adapt to a new technology. You know, they're moving to 4K visuals and stuff like that. We gotta eventually
3D.
Right, we're gonna
3D
have 3D, holographics. We're gonna have to adapt to it. So we gotta learn. You gotta learn. Knowledge is power. So you gotta learn. And like he said, if you're not adapting, you dead. So, do you have any challenges that you face in the media, doing media or photography, visuals?
Challenges. Well, there's always going to be challenges. There's always going to be some type of conflict that we're going to be experiencing, whether it's in the media industry or whether it's in everyday life. We're going to have our internal conflict and we're going to have our external conflict. Conflict and challenge can also be good sometimes, because we tend to think and talk too much on the negative as far as with, you know, what we see and, oh, we don't like, and just automatically think like, you know, shut down. You know, example being me, you know, like there would be times where I was in sort of a state where, you know, I saw like, you know, like other people's work and I'm just like, damn, like my work is kind of garbage. But at the same time, you can't think that, you know. So it's just really a matter of like, you know, and after me seeing that and saying that to myself, you know, I just strive myself to do better. I went out and did more photo shoots and be able to, you know, like get more momentum and pushing it out more. So it just really all depends on like how, you know, you go about and how you challenge yourself. And there's so many different ways and methods you can do it. It's not necessarily a matter of like, oh, one's the right way, one's the wrong way.
Do you have any other projects coming up that they can probably see, view, in the next couple of months? Anything coming up?
Yeah. Right now I have a photo shoot that I'm trying to get popped up called Afrofuturism. So it's inspired by the movie Black Panther. My goal is to get that shot by the February 2nd and get that distributed on the day of the release day it comes out. So that's the 16th. So I'm looking forward to that. Also, I'm going to meet up with someone to get my script written for my feature film. So that way I have that like written kind of like in the vault as far as what I want to do and how I'm going to go about that.
Where can anyone that's viewing this, the audience, where can they find you on social media or?
Oh yes, social media. Okay, so you guys can follow me On Facebook, Garrett Clark, or you can go to my Instagram, great_galactic. I also have a website where you can usually follow me and everything else called thisisgalactic.com. That's where you're going to find all my portfolio, my work, my YouTube, podcast, all that stuff. So just follow me on any one of the three. From there, you can find my Snapchat, Twitter, and everything else. So, yeah, just follow me there and keep me posted. And love you guys.
Thank you. This was Garrett from Galactic Visuals, and we are out.
All right, bye.